Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and this is a spoiler-free review of Deadpool and Wolverine, the third film of the Deadpool trilogy, the only Marvel film of 2024, and the first Deadpool film in the MCU. I was fortunate to see the full 2-hour and 8-minute film at a press screening a few days early, and I'm going to take you through my general thoughts, what to expect going into this movie, whether it is the messianic Marvel Jesus savior to the Marvel Cinematic Universe that it presented itself to be, and controversially, my numerical score and ranking. And I am wearing our Deadpool and Wolverine inspired face-off shirt, available at nerdriot.shop. Grabbing one of these is the best way to support what we are doing here at New Rockstars. Thank you so much for your support. Okay, let's start with my general thoughts. Here's actually what I tweeted coming out of the theater, and I know you may have seen it on Twitter right now, but it is worth repeating and I'll explain why. Deadpool and Wolverine was the most fun I've had at the movies in years. It's a Marvel fan's delight. Cameos, yes, but Ryan Reynolds handpicked the ones to deliver surgical comedic impact. It rewards MCU obsession and knowing the lives of these chiseled heroes. It's easy to see the Marvel Studios titles and feel eased into safety. Not here. Deadpool and Wolverine wipes the slate clean and smears it with blood. No stab, snicked, or splat was pulled. It's not as sexually overt as the past two Deadpools, but it makes up for it with carnage. Is Marvel back? That's a question for Kevin Feige at Comic-Con, not for Deadpool and Wolverine. This movie makes a strong case. It has some fun with the malaise. I can't wait to see how the fandom takes the jabs. We might need to see it a few times to catch all the bits. Hugh Jackman gets to explore a new dimension of Logan and Deadpool and Wolverine. The yellow and blue suit isn't just fan service. We're back to the classic Marvel DNA of exploring why the suit is worn. The film understands it's in the shadow of Logan from 2017 and minds that darkness. I wanted to repeat it here because while our opinions of movies can change over time, and perhaps they should, it's helpful to bottle that immediate aftertaste in your mouth when the popcorn and frozen Coke are still mixed in with it, before our personal feelings are tainted by the internet and our nerdy friend who's louder than we are, both of which I'm realizing I am to you right now, and I'm sorry about that. But really, just to rephrase this here, over 2 hours, Deadpool and Wolverine will have you cheering at the action, marveling at the fan service, and rolling with meta humor best appreciated by Marvel nerds and followers of the lives and careers of Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, at least the versions of them on the People magazine covers. And I swear I had not seen the movie when I made our primer video, but trust me, our Deadpool full recap video will completely cover what you need to know going into this film. Without spoiling anything, the film does cover that wide a breadth of Marvel history. So what happens in this movie? No spoilers here. Deadpool, Wade Wilson, now finds himself in an aimless state, having given up being a hero. The TVA approaches him and offers him the chance to leave his doomed universe to join the MCU, but Deadpool resists this and finds a Wolverine from another timeline to try to save his home universe, but the TVA banishes them to the Void, where they meet Cassandra Nova and lots of other fun familiar faces show up after that. I'm not gonna go further than that because it's so easy to spoil the crazy things that happen in this movie. But I'll say this, these cameos, which trailer footage has mostly avoided, thankfully, they really aim for quirky quality over stifling quantity, if that makes sense. Like, as opposed to the quick gag cameos of Brad Pitt and the X-Men in Deadpool 2, these cameos in Deadpool and Wolverine carry real weight to the story, and they give proper redemption to Marvel past. It's not even fair to call them cameos. Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy built a new story around these folks and let them drive the narrative, and I really love that about this film. And so we're clear, there is one post-credit scene, and it comes at the very end of the credits, so you gotta stay all the way through all those very talented VFX artists who worked on it. So what you'll love about this movie. Marvel fans have been craving impactful stunts and action in the MCU, and to do that properly, characters must get hurt. And in this movie, they get hurt. People die, and you see it and you feel it, and it's awesome. The fights in this movie bring the pain, fireworks of blood and bone and everything else that might be under the skin. It is the goriest, gnarliest, most twisted array of brawls that you have ever seen following the Marvel Studios logo. For parents wondering if it's okay to take their kids to see this R-rated film, the violence is heightened to cartoony extremes, and it unleashes a flurry of F-bombs, but sexually explicit imagery has been significantly dialed back from the previous two Deadpool films. There are a few lines that are raunchier than the pegging joke from the trailer, but it's so buried in the classic Ryan Reynolds-y wordplay and innuendo that it's just likely to go right over the kids' heads. That's my opinion. Am I gonna bring my 7-month-old to this movie? No, don't bring babies to movies. Are you crazy? But getting back to things you'll love about this movie, while the viewers this weekend are likely to focus on the famous faces that show up, the best performances come from Emma Corrin as Cassandra Nova and Matthew Macfadyen as Mr. Paradox, two of the most talented actors Marvel Studios has ever cast in their projects. They elevate their roles with this madcap energy, but a palpable understanding of the physics of their toy box worlds. Also, this movie is packed with jokes, and you're gonna have to likely watch it at least twice to catch everything. Reynolds and his writers have just such a good grasp on self-aware humor, also on puppeting Deadpool with physical gags and clowning, and just brutal commentary on culture, on show business, and on the Marvel fandom. Yes, we come in the crosshairs, and we totally deserve it. Not even the actors' personal lives are spared, but beyond the humor is a heartfelt story about purpose, feeling like an outcast for reasons beyond your control, and not wanting to lose the misfit toys that you grew up with. Deadpool and Wolverine is actually thematically resonant with a Toy Story film. Like, we see two action figures who feel cast aside, and they're torn between a chance at a selfish afterlife or renewing their purpose for a new generation. Specifically, what this script and Hugh Jackman do with the character of Wolverine, I was so impressed with how they could take a character we've seen so many times already and leave no stone unturned for what every past film version of Wolverine has missed about the character from the comics. It's not just the yellow and blue suit, it's the relationship to his X-Men, to his Charles, to his legacy. For once, Wolverine is not that concerned with his claws, and he's not this cold animalistic loner. He is a family man who misses his Charles, his Scott, his Jean, his Beast, his Aurora. You can tell just by looking at this guy, especially after watching X-Men 97, and realize, man, someone just needs to give this guy a hug and to say, to me, my X-Man. So let's talk about the Marvel Jesus of it all. Does Deadpool and Wolverine save the MCU? Is Marvel back? I don't agree that Marvel ever truly left. Deadpool does score a low blow by saying Marvel is at a low point, and I guess it's kind of hard to argue with that. I'm sure this movie is gonna make plenty of money to reassure shareholders, but I don't think it's this movie's job, nor does it even aim to do this, to save the MCU or to advance MCU world building. I think that's the job of Kevin Feige at San Diego Comic-Con this weekend, and I'm sure we will all have a better idea of how the pieces fit together in a week. But Deadpool and Wolverine is a self-contained movie. It's focused on just the two title characters, and I think it's better for it. It's focused more on making you appreciate Marvel pre-MCU, the world of the aughts that Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds and Kevin Feige earned their stripes in, and not with fixing every little thing about the MCU in 2024 and beyond. Nods to Secret Wars are hinted at, but sparingly. The TVA from the Loki series is featured in this film, and as a huge fan of the 2 seasons of Loki, I was delighted to see that. But as depicted in this film, it's largely just a 2-level playset and sandbox for the characters to tumble around in. And I don't know, just based on this movie, I'm not sure Ryan Reynolds appreciated the Loki series on the level that most Marvel fans did, at least in terms of the mythological and philosophical implications of this organization. Now, that might just be me as someone who went way too deep in breaking down every episode of Loki. I just think Loki is one of the best things to come out of the MCU post Endgame. Geology has been sponsoring us for over 2 years, which is crazy because that means I've been a daily Geology user for 2 years now. When we started, I thought, sure, I'll take some free face wash and shampoo from work, why not? But then I started noticing smoother, more hydrated skin, fewer blemishes, and less oiliness. Do you have any idea how much footage of myself I need to watch at this job? I notice these things. And now over 3,000 of our viewers have also made Geology part of their daily routine. They've shared reviews with us saying things like, the products are easy to use and definitely have a real impact on the look and feel of your hair and skin. Highly recommend. And also, not a skincare guy, well, at least I wasn't. This stuff is amazing and the products are top notch. Want to see for yourself? Just click the link in the description below, take a quick 30-second quiz, and Geology will figure out your routine for you. Just click the link in the description below to get 90% off your first skincare trial set and 20% off your next full-sized order, or go to geolog.ie/rockstars90x 20 to get started. So here, I think, is what you'll miss, where the movie struggles. As what pitches itself as Deadpool's introduction to the MCU, you kind of feel like Ryan Reynolds in this movie might be resisting joining the MCU as it is, and instead latching onto a visual and conceptual middle ground version of the MCU that was presented in the Loki series, a series that, again, I'm not convinced this film truly appreciates as much as it appreciates the 2017 Logan film. But that's a movie that Deadpool already began to unpack with 2018's Deadpool 2. And despite the truly amazing fights and the incredible fan service, there are moments where Ryan Reynolds and Sean Levy's economical approach leads this film to feel smaller than it should at times. And for a film that requires viewers to know something about the studio acquisitions and industry politics, that also means that this film must also play to an audience who knows that it was shot during a 2023 writer's strike and thus could not benefit from revisions or reshoots, which I have to admit, you do feel at times. I'll just say this, as much as I love Sean Levy and I'll watch everything that guy makes, it's probably for the best that Marvel is considering the Russo brothers and their even more talented storyteller writers, Marcus and McFeely, for titles like Avengers Secret Wars, where the fights have to be just as good, but serve even more epic fireworks and world-building implications. I'm not saying that's the job of Deadpool and Wolverine, I just want you all to have some expectations going into this movie. So some final thoughts and ranking. I hate grading Marvel movies, but you know what? If I'm saying I'm gonna review a movie, I gotta give it a fair review, and I'm gonna give Deadpool and Wolverine an 8 out of 10. I know some of you are gonna come at me saying, how could you give this movie anything less than a 10? I don't think it's fair to say this is a perfect movie. I think some of you are gonna find issues with this movie, and I just want to be fair about this, as fair as I can be. I would have given Deadpool in 2016 a 10 out of 10 when I first saw it, but probably I'd give it a 9 out of 10 now, only because the jokes were all very topical of the time in 2016, and they don't have that timeless quality in 2024, and I doubt these jokes in Deadpool and Wolverine will hold up 8 years from now. Now, the action and the physical gags are totally gonna hold up, but the jokes, which are such a big part of this movie, I'm not sure they're gonna hold up. Now, I did this for the Marvels, so again, I'm gonna rank this movie with all the movies from the Marvel Cinematic Universe since 2021, including Phase 4 and Phase 5. Deadpool and Wolverine is definitely right up there at the top, right under Spider-Man No Way Home. I know some of you think No Way Home is overrated and just a cameo fest, but I actually think the No Way Home script better delivered on its promises and had a pretty good arc for Peter Parker that often goes underappreciated. With Deadpool and Wolverine, as was the case in Deadpool 2, there are often times where Deadpool is just kind of like riffing and making jokes about his surroundings and not always pursuing what his character's arc is. That doesn't make it any less of a movie. It just kind of makes it hard to take the character seriously when we need to take him serious. Now, I'm sure there are going to be people saying that Deadpool and Wolverine is the best MCU movie since Avengers Endgame, and you know, I think they'll have a good argument. If you feel that way, I don't fault you. But yeah, here's how I rank the Marvel movies since Endgame: Spider-Man No Way Home at the top, then Deadpool and Wolverine, followed by Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, then Shang-Chi, then Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, then Black Panther Wakanda Forever, then the Marvels, then Ant-Man the Wasp Quantumania, then Thor Love and Thunder, then Eternals, then Black Widow. And to give you a full context of where I think Marvel is right now, here's where Deadpool and Wolverine ranks with all MCU titles since 2021, including the Disney Plus titles. I know just by showing you this list, you're gonna be like, wait, that over that and this over that? You. So let's just get it off the screen before they look at it too long. Wait, can they pause videos? Uh-oh. So that was my review of Deadpool and Wolverine. We got so many great videos coming up this week. On Thursday will be my breakdown of the ending and the post-credit scene. There will be spoilers in that video, just be warned. And then on Friday will be my full Easter egg breakdown of Deadpool and Wolverine. And guys, there are like hundreds of them. I have my work cut out for me, but I'm so excited to get started. Comment down below with what you're most looking forward to from this movie. Follow me at EA Voss. Subscribe to all 3 channels in the new Rockstars network for breakdowns and news coverage of everything you love. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.